So originally your clients were the U.S. government and the CIA.
Our first clients, so we got this investment from Incatel, which has always been controversial. It's a really small investment. Now they're no longer at the DPO. They exited, but it's always been very, if you Google Pallantier, you'll see. And if it's a left-wing newspaper, by the way, I'm progressive, and I think the left is wrong to hate on us sometimes because without Pallantier, the far right would be in a position of dominance because Pallantier single-handedly, with the police forces, stopped major terror attacks. But in any case, you'll read Pallantier, CIA-driven data. In German, it's data octopus, which is my favorite. It's like as if we're hovering, and none of which is true. But
where did the name Pallantier come from?
In the Lord of the Rings, there's a globe which allows the forces of good to see what's going on and organize, and that's a Pallantier. And the Pallantier plural is Pallantieri.
Okay, so when you started the company, you got some software was sold to the Pentagon and/or CIA.
It was sold. Yeah, the Incatel gave us 3 pilots. One with the FBI, one with the agency, and one with a more classified part of the DoD. But interestingly, it was that part of the DoD that really got us off the ground because they were struggling with finding out where terrorists were putting improvised explosives, and we figured that out in our product.
The employees who work at companies like Google or Facebook tend to be more left of center than right of center, I think it's fair to say. So, and sometimes, like Google, they say, we don't want to work for the Pentagon. So how do you get employees? How many do you have, 3,300 now or something?
4,000 if you include the people, yeah.
All right, 4,000. How do you get employees who say, I want to work for the CIA, I want to do software for the Pentagon? Is that hard to do?
By the way, and now it's not just American clandestine services. Probably the clandestine service almost if you're in a Western country, it's your country as well, whether they tell you that or not, for very important technical reasons. No, look, the fundamental basis of Pallantier, both for clients externally and people internally, is, and we're very open about this, like we are not everyone's cup of tea. We may not be your cup of tea. By the way, we don't like people who are like, coming in and saying we want to kill terrorists and, just without data protection. So to make society work, there are basic functions that have to work. One of which is the reduction of terrorism, pushing back on, in my view, human rights abuses largely done by adversaries to the West. You may not agree with that, and bless you, don't work here. And what you'll find is 2/3 of the people in the Valley don't want to work for your company. However, 1/3 only wants to work for your company. And yeah, we don't get it. By the way, it's one of the concerns investors had in the beginning is like, because not everyone at Pallantier has a clearance. In the beginning, it was for the U.S. government. Now it's for almost every government, depending on where we are. But that's also helpful because you say, well, you don't want a clearance. Why? And like, yeah, I don't care if someone's smoked pot or they have a relationship to their hamster, as long as they acknowledge it, we don't care. But if somebody's like, hey, so it basically is a filter. Now, and by the way, we've been very critical, as you may know, people in this room know, of the Valley. And that also helps. Look, I bless your soul if you want to distribute carcinogens with your great intellect in the form of consumer internet. That's your decision. And if you want to get wealthy and give your money to philanthropy or not, that's your decision. We want people who want to be on the side of the West, making the West a better society, more able to defend themselves, protect data protection, and that's not for everyone.